What is up, guys? NoizyBoy here, and I'm back again with another video. And as you can see, finished top 300 in the global tournament in the world. I'm going to be going over some replays I had with it. As you can see, I'm running Giant Skeleton Balloon, and in this first replay, I'm versus Bad Bunny. He's a really good Royal Hogs player. He usually plays Logbait though, but he has a bunch of top 50 finishes in the world. He's a very good player, and although I lost, it's a pretty close game, so I'm just going to be going over it anyway. So first play of the game, he goes for a 5-speed at the bridge, and I just block it with a balloon because I don't want to take that damage. He can just Earthquake cycle me out later in the game, and I just got to be pretty careful about that. So it just applies pressure, and it's pretty simple. And he counters it pretty easily with a cannon. He just goes Queen opposite lane, which is pretty annoying for me, as you'll see coming up, because this just allows him to apply a dual lane pressure with the Giant Skeleton and the Queen. And it's not really something I want to have to deal with because I'm just forced to snowball this Queen, and I take about 1500 damage here, which is not what you want to be doing with this deck. And yeah, the Giant Skeleton's taking forever to kill that, and he ends up taking like half my tower just with those one Royal Hogs because I had a bad cycle, and that's just how it is. But anyway, Giant Skeleton's going in for the counter bush, and he just Royal delivers it. And this is a pretty weird matchup. Like, they can just... It's pretty hard because you can't really break through the cannon now that the balloon doesn't one-shot the cannon. So, like, they can just stack a bunch of cannons and Archer Queen ability, and you're never really going to break through if they know what they're doing. But as you'll see at the end of the game, it actually gets really close. But I'm able to get a last-second balloon onto the tower. But anyway, I just go Lumberjack in the back here. He Queen same lane to it, and I get great Executioner value here because I can just Exi-NATO this and kill the Royal Hogs, and it's going to go on and kill the Archer Queen if he doesn't activate his ability here. But he activates it, so I end up just snowballing that. That'll still get fully countered by the Executioner. I take two Queen shots, but it's not that big of a deal because we're already down a bunch of damage, and I can try to come back and double if I build a big push. But at this point, he's just going to be looking at Earthquake Saga. He's not going to be playing that many Royal Hogs at this point in the game. As he should just be Earthquake cycling and defending. And I go in for a Giant Skeleton in the back. Just want to build up a big push and try to break there with one giant push to win the game. Anyway, Lumberjack coming in the back. And then we're just going to let in and see what our pushes do. We're just going to wait for him to build up. And we go E-Drag in the middle. And when you go Electro Dragon in the middle versus Cycle Deck, you actually want to be Tornadoing everything into the Electro Dragon. It's a great way to break through defenses, especially with Cycle Decks. Like when you Tornado stuff into their buildings, the E-Drag can get really good chain value. And it often allows you to break through a lot of the time. But anyway, we have almost full HP balloon here, and we get a really good freeze here. And I hit everything, and I just snowball that Archer Queen forward, so that way the Queen does not stay locked onto the balloon. And then right here, we're just going to go Giant Skeleton. He's going to continue Earthquake cycling, and at this point, I'm kind of panicked. I go Lumberjack at the bridge, and I'm going for a balloon right after. I'm just trying to get to the tower as fast as possible, because I don't want this to go into overtime, because I'm going to lose, obviously. And so, I just have the balloon there. He's just trying to kill it. I get great freeze, and I hit a perfect prediction, in the snowball right there. And it goes in overtime, 5 HP, 31 on his tower. Balloon Death Bomb does not blow up in time, and I lose the game. But it was a pretty close game, and I figured I'd show it anyway, just because Bad Bunny's such a good player. And I figured I would want to go over the matchup and how you should be handling it. But as you can see, yep, top 59 in the world, top 55 in the global tournament, and yeah. Go to the next game. We actually match versus Carl the Legend. Very good lava player. I think he has a top 3 finish in the world, if I'm correct. But anyway, this is a pretty easy matchup. But Carl's a very good player. So I was just waiting to see how the match would go. And well, he goes Tombstone first play of the game. I don't really want to be responding to that because, well, Skeleton's never going to make it tower, so he just goes Mega Mini. I just go Execution Slam, and this is going to completely block off the lane, and there's not really much he can do. He's not going to push into a Mega Minion. So right here, I just go Giant Skeleton at the bridge. It'll protect the Mega Minion and apply a huge same lane pressure that he has to deal with. He cannot ignore that or else he's going to lose the tower. Mighty Miner is extremely annoying for me. This deck cannot handle a Mighty Miner because he can just teleport opposite lane of the Electro Dragon and you just lose because you really have no other way of killing him. So that's kind of annoying, but as you can see, Mighty Miner is pretty low. It just dies. And I just go in for a Lumberjack. It'll tank for the Electro Dragon, and it'll overall be pretty annoying for him to deal with. And this allows me to go for a balloon here because his Fireball is out of hand, and he wasted his Tombstone. So I'm just going to take advantage of the rage there. And yeah. Snowball back the Mega Minion. It allows me to get 2 balloon hits, which is pretty well played on my end. But he actually zaps that, so it takes 1. But that's going to be an even elixir trade then for the zap and the snowball, and I get an extra balloon hit because of it. So that's pretty nice. Alright, so we're just both waiting, and I don't want to be really making the next play, but he goes Lava Hound in the back, so I'm just going to go Giant Skeleton in the back same lane. This is pretty much just going to block the clog the whole lane, especially if he's planning on playing any troop targeting troops into it, like Skeleton Dragons or Mega Minion. And he plays a Mighty Miner, which is, once again, pretty annoying. My deck doesn't really have a way of killing his Mighty Miner. And I Tornado all this together, so I get Electro Dragon value. And then I Snowball just to kill the skeletons, but I actually mistimed it, so the skeletons lived on. But it's whatever. I place a Giant Skeleton right here, got a tank for the Executioner, so that way it lives on. And then I can just use my counter push here to try and get to his tower. Executioner right there, because when the skeletons pop out of the tombstone, my Executioner will actually target those skeletons, and it'll try and splash onto the tombstone, and I'll take it out pretty easily, because the Executioner will actually kill the death skeletons instantly, kind of like a log. But anyway, he goes for a Fireball there. He's got to take that out. I'd go for a Tornado there, and then I freeze everything. I had a great freeze. He Snowball. Just got to slow down the tower. But the Mega Minion takes it out. So, but I'm in a great position. There's not really much he can do at this point. The game's pretty much over unless he were to get pretty lucky. But anyway, I just go for a Giant Skeleton, I think. Yeah, and if you drop it in the middle when the Mighty Miner teleports opposite lane, it's just going to walk straight back to the Giant Skeleton in the middle because, well, it's in the middle, and when the Mighty Miner walks towards the center of the arena, it's not really going to teleport very far. It's going to teleport relatively in the same position. But anyway, he defends with another Mighty Miner. I just go Lumberjack, pull the Mighty Miner towards the middle, and then E-Drag in the middle, so if he teleports opposite lane, the E-Drag will stay locked on, and he's not really going to break through. As you can see, E-Drag stays locked on. Here I just go for a quick balloon, it gets into the rage. And he doesn't know what to do here. I freeze that, and he has to Fireball, which is a really good positive elixir trade for me. Not really what he wanted to have to do, but it's what he had to do. So anyway, I'm just gonna be waiting for him to make the next play. I just want to wait, be careful, and not risk anything. But anyway, right here, I just go in for a Lumberjack Giant Skeleton to the bridge. Now I know the Electro Dragon's gonna clean this up pretty well, so I just Tornado it back, and then I just let my push do its thing, Snowball the balloon, and Giant Skeleton finishes off the match. Right there with the Death Bomb on the tower. Carl Legend, also amazing player. Pretty easy matchup for me. And yeah, let's go into the next game. One thing I wanted to show, going to his profile, yeah, as you can see, number 3 global tournament finish. This is his mini account, but yeah, number 3 global tournament is really good. So, Carl the Legend, not a bad player. Going to the next match, we have 3 Musketeers. 3 Musketeers is a really difficult matchup. You don't want to face this matchup at all with Pump, because they're just going to stack a bunch of pumps, and you're pretty much just going to lose. You can usually take a tower in single elixir, because they're only air counters 3 Musketeers, but as you can see right here, I have the Giant Skeleton Balloon. That whole push is just going to take his tower, or it's going to deal a lot of damage at least. I Snowball all those Musketeers into the Giant Skeleton Death Bomb. Good Death Bomb cleans up, and I get 2 balloon shots, so half of his tower is down right there, which is really nice for me, because with 3 Musketeers, your only hope is actually getting an early damage lead, because once you get to double, they're just going to stack a bunch of pumps, and they're always going to have enough elixir to play defensive 3 on your balloon, and you're not really going to be able to break through. And pretty much the whole match, starting in double, they're just going to keep you on defense the whole match, and you're not really going to build up any push. You're just going to be stuck on defense until eventually they overwhelm you with a split lane push, and you're going to lose. If you're not getting early damage leads like I need to get here. As you can see, I go Execution in the back, and I'm waiting to see what he does next. Just waiting, and so I just go Giant Skeleton in the bridge, and he goes E-Barbs and Royal Ghost opposite lane. I just go with a nice Electro Dragon. It's going to clean that up. I'm going to take a lot of damage, and obviously we're going to get a tower trade here, which is not ideal, but it's better than the situation I was in before, because now this allows me to go Lumberjack Balloon in the pocket if we get to overtime or something, and I can get a quick freeze off if I ever need to, and I'll be able to take tower if when it comes time. But anyway, we're just going to Tornado all that into the Giant Skeleton Death Bomb. That'll be all cleaned up. And, yeah, you want to be you want to be abusing your Giant Skeleton Death Bombs in this matchup. Because if you're not, they're just going to overwhelm you. And you want to be using your Tornado to Tornado all the 3 Musketeers into the Giant Skeleton Bomb. Because that's really your only way of killing the 3 Musketeers. But he goes E-Barbs in pocket. Really bad Elite Barbarians. he wants to be building up bigger pushes and stacking elixir pumps in this matchup. He still has a minute left, so it's not like he was running out of time. But, yeah, I defend that bandit with the executioner. And at this point, I'm really just going to be playing defensively and trying to hold on for that last minute. He's not going to go for the 3 crowns, so I can really just stack all my troops into this one lane. And this is really bad for him because, like, he can't apply split lane pressure into the King Tower. Because, well, the King Tower has so much HP, I can just kind of rely on that for the next 30 seconds. But as you can see, he actually does try to go for it. And I just got a nice Lumberjack freeze. E-Drag cleans up everything. And that whole push is pretty much dead. Giant Skeleton Bomb kills the Musketeer. And at this point in the game, there's not really much he can do. I'm up a tower. It's 10 seconds left. He's not doing anything. And, yeah, that's going to be the end of this game. As you can see, another tornado into the 3M. Pull that into the Death Bomb. This guy's not happy about it. And, yeah, that's the end of the game. Alright, so going into the next game, this guy's running Golem Pump. This matchup is kind of weird because you can defend pretty easily. But if they can build up a big push using their pump advantage, you're going to get into some really awkward situations because they're going to get a big elixir advantage. They can tornado in your executioner come later into the match, and you can be into some trouble if you're not very careful with what you're doing. He goes bar barrel, they just snowball it back, and I just skipped to double elixir time because none of us made a play. When you're waiting till double elixir time, if you go Giant Skeleton in the back exactly as the time for it turns like 1 minute 05, if you turn it as if you place a Giant Skeleton exactly as it turns to 105, then you'll actually get a free elixir when double elixir time comes if you look closely there. And but yeah, you'll get a bonus elixir, which is really helpful for defending these golem pushes because every elixir counts. And I just got a quick NATO freeze. NATO freeze is pretty much going to be your key to defending these golem pushes. NATO freeze, executioner tornado freeze is like one of the most broken defensive combos in the game. And one of the most underrated also. So you can really just rely on that to defend pushes. And since he doesn't have a lightning, I can also place an Electro Dragon now in combination with the executioner since he doesn't have lightning, so he can't hit it all. So I can get a good Electro Dragon also if I need it. And right here, I want to freeze so that way the Lumberjack's alive with 1 HP. It gets a ton of damage on his tower. And then the Lumberjack drops a Rage when he tornadoes back, and Balloon cleans up the tower pretty easily. And Executioner just got to survive for 3 more seconds, which is not very hard. And that's the game. It's a pretty weird matchup, but if you play it right and you know what you're doing, you can get around that pump advantage by abusing your tornado freeze value. But going to the next match, we actually match versus another Lava Hound player, and like I said before, Lava Hound is a pretty easy matchup. You can kind of just play execution to whatever they do, and all their Lava Hound pushes are just gonna die. And especially their really only hope is like if they go Giant Skeleton first play, Lava Hound first play, and you have a bad cycle, you're gonna lose, or it's gonna be really annoying. But when they go Lava Hound on the back first play, you can pressure Giant Skeleton Sam lane because Lava Hound really is only gonna have like 2 air counters in the deck. So there's a good chance that both of their air counters are out of hand, and if that Giant Skeleton gets to the tower, that's tower down. They're not saving the tower, and if they do save the tower, they're gonna lose most of the tower HP. And, well, he had Barbarians, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's whatever, because I can just play an Electro Dragon in that. Especially since I had no air counters in hand, I had to cycle to an air counter, which the Giant Skeleton brought me to an Electro Dragon. And at this point, I'm just going to be finishing off this Lava Hound push. E-Drag chains onto that. Executioner, great executioner value here. Also, the Executioner is going to give me a little bit of counter push here, especially if I decide to go Balloon in front of it sometimes, like right here. I go Balloon in front of it, and that's going to be pretty annoying for him because he's going to have to waste his zap on that, which is not really what he wants to be doing. And I just snowball that back the Inferno Dragon. If you time that perfectly, you'll actually get an extra hit. So as you can see there, I got 2 hits from the Balloon. Inferno Dragon's coming in for the counter push. Really not worried about it. I have a few counters in hand. I just tornado it back. I think I should have Electro Dragon there. I think that was a little bit of a mistake on my end because that would have clogged the lane also. And this left me pretty vulnerable to a Balloon push. But anyway, we're only going to take like 1 balloon here, so it's not too big of a deal, especially considering the matchup. But it's just something to keep in mind. Like, if they're going in for naked balloons like that, you want to be playing your Electro Dragon on them. But right there, he goes for a miner. I just catch it with the Lumberjack. It's kind of obvious that he's going to play in the safe side because he knows I have a tornado, and he knows that I'm not going to be, he's not going to be playing it over there because I'll just tornado to the King Tower. But he goes in for Skeleton Dragons. I get the Electro Dragon push, and I go Balloon Inferno because the Electro Dragon's going to be really annoying for him, and he can't drop an Inferno Dragon on that, which makes things really difficult for him because, well, that means he's going to lose tower. Electro Dragon also forces Zap out of him because he was targeted on the Inferno Dragon. And then right here, I just get a great Tornado Freeze. As I was saying before, Executioner Tornado Freeze is going to be your key to killing these bigger beatdown pushes. And is yeah, it just kills all the beatdown pushes. Anyway, E-Jag cleans up, and Executioner did a great job over there. Play a Giant Skeleton into that. Giant Skeleton Death Bomb in combination with a Snowball is going to kill pretty much everything. And that's going to be the end of his push. His whole push is dead. He's not even going to take that tower. Because as you can see, I just Tornado the Miner to King, and I saved the tower, right, barely, with any 14 HP, as you can see. Super close, but even if he did take the tower, he would have overcommitted. So I forced so much elixir out of him that I could have just pressured opposite lane and taken his tower right back. That Expo game, I got sniped, so that's kind of annoying. But this Hog game, this guy's running Hog Earthquake with Mini P.E.K.K.A, which is... they can usually outcycle me pretty easily, and it can be kind of annoying for me, so you have to be pretty careful in this matchup. But this guy goes Hog at the bridge first play, and as you can see, I just go Giant Skeleton on that. And if you go Giant Skeleton and Snowball, and you time the Snowball perfectly, you can actually stop the Hog from getting all hits, which, I mean, it's an 8 for 4 trade, not really what you want to be doing, but if you ever need to do that, you can always do it if you time the Snowball well. He just goes Skeletons over there, pulls the balloon up, and I realize at this point, okay, this guy's either got Earthquake or Rocket. So I take the chance. I want to see what he has, if he has Earthquake or Rocket. And when I force a Firecracker out of him over there, I realize he does not have Rocket because he would have just rocketed that. So he has Earthquake, and I know at this point, okay, this is going to be a pretty easy matchup because he really has no way of killing my balloon pushes. His really only hope is the Firecracker, but even then I can kill that pretty easily. So I just pull the Mini P.E.K.K.A up, and I Tornado the Hog to the King Tower. I just got a really nice Snowball here on the Mini P.E.K.K.A, and that actually gets fully countered. And so we're down 1 elixir here, but it's not too big of a deal because it's Cycle deck, so like I can easily just, he doesn't have his Hog Rider in hand anyway, so like I can just wait for him to do whatever. And whenever he cycles stuff, I'm just going to get into an elixir advantage. And it's going to be really annoying for him to win the game at this point because I'm up so much damage. And he can't really defend another balloon. Especially when he played Firecracker in the back. I knew, okay, this guy's a losing tower because, well, the Firecracker is his only air counter. And right here I go Giant Skeleton. This is really annoying for me. But it's whatever because I'm not going to lose tower. I'm going to take a few Hog hits, but it's no big deal. Because I took out his tower. And, well, with this game, you just want to be getting a damage lead early on. So you can just focus up on the defensive end for the rest of the match. And that was a really bad log on his end because it allows my Giant Skeleton Bomb was going to kill his Firecracker anyway. So there's really no point in him trying to save that. But right here, I just go in for the freeze. I wanted to freeze the Ice Golem so the Hog would run past. But the Hog ended up blocking, the Ice Golem ended up blocking it still. So I ended up having to Snowball the Ice Golem back again. And then I just Tornado the Hog to the King Tower. When they go Ice Golem Hog at the bridge, you want to be doing something to get the Hog to run in front of the Ice Golem, which is usually going to be freezing the Ice Golem, or you can try to Snowball the Ice Golem out of the way if you place it well, and then you could try to go with the Hog Rider. You can try to Tornado the Hog Rider to the King Tower after the Snowball knocks the Ice Golem out of the way. And anyway, as you can see, he's just trying to go in with the Hog push again, and I just go Giant Skeleton, pushes the Hog in front of the Ice Golem, and then I just Tornado the Hog to the King again. At this point, he should try an Earthquake cycle me. That would be the good play, but he does not try to for whatever reason. He tries to go for another Hog Rider, and I'm not really sure why. He could try to cycle 2 Earthquakes there, but anyway, I just Snowball this back, and that's game. Pretty good game, well played on my end. But with that matchup, you really just want to be playing defensively, and you want to be abusing your balloons because there's not really much they can do to kill them. But going into this next match, this guy's running Electro Dragon Bowler, which kind of confused me because I thought he was going to be running Lumberloon with Electro Dragon because why would Graveyard run Electro Dragon? Because they could just activate King Tower, which kind of surprised me. I make some plays that would benefit me versus Lumberloon, and ended up hurting me because he had a Graveyard actually. But yeah, I just Tornado in the E-Jag, and I freeze it. He freezes me back, but it's no big deal because his E-Jag's gonna die. Snowballed onto my side of the arena. Just help clean it up. And this guy's Mega Mini is kind of annoying, but I just focus on defending this push opposite lane. And as you can see right here, going for a Lumberjack. and I just tornado all those skeletons to kill them. This was a really weird freeze on his end. I don't really agree with that, but it gets him a lot of damage, and it forces a freeze out of me. I don't really like the freeze that I played either. I think I should have just taken the damage and focused on the counter push, but it's whatever. And yeah, so as you can see, I just go balloon here, take advantage of the rage spell, snowball the Mega Minion back, and we just got a balloon it, which is really nice. I need to catch him on average as fast as possible. Because come triple elixir time, it's really going to be difficult for me to be breaking through. But because he has Electro Dragon, Tornado Freeze, and Mega Minion, he has so many air counters, so many balloon counters. So I just want to be getting damage early on, which obviously didn't go my way. So I'm just going to be playing the catch-up game. And he goes in for a bad Mega Minion because it gets chained by the Electro Dragon. It just allows me to snowball back and kill it. But he plays a Tornado though, which was really well played on his end. Pulls my E-Dragon on his side of the arena, but I can just get a second one down. I just play a Giant Skeleton in front of this, and this is really awkward for him because what is he gonna do? He get any counter push he gets out of this is just gonna die to the Giant Skeleton Death Bomb. It's just extremely annoying for him. But anyway, I just snowball this, cleans up that, and then Giant Skeleton's coming in, forces more elixir out of him, and the Giant Skeleton Death Bomb gets really close to his tower. But yeah, I didn't get it, unfortunately. I thought I was gonna get it, but I didn't. Anyway, he tries to tornado it back and get some quick splash damage with the Skeleton King, but I catch it with the Lumberjack, and that's fully countered. Lumberjack gives me some counter push, and I go in for a Giant Skeleton Balloon at the bridge, into the rage. And this is really annoying for him because I can just freeze this, and then I can just tornado everything in, execute just splashing everything. Mega Minion pretty much dead, and Balloon has nothing for him to defend it. And I can just get him for another balloon here because I'm up a ton of elixir now. And I can just get a good freeze on this E-Drag. And then I can try to tornado it opposite lane, which is what I do there. The E-Drag dies. And I can just snowball this back. And this actually forces another tornado of him. And I know this game is pretty much over, but he still has one shot if he can get a good graveyard push here. But when he goes E-Dragon back, I know, okay, well, if I pressure balloon here, he's going to be forced to defend, and I'm going to win the game. But anyway, as you can see, he tries to get in a desperate graveyard, but he's forced to defensive freeze because of his cycle and that bad Electro Dragon he played. So I can just pressure with a balloon at the bridge, and I can E-Drag, and I'm free to E-Drag the graveyard, and I win the game. In that situation, I really just pressured the bridge. I didn't really expect to get damage, but it was mostly just to force him to play defense so he couldn't just overcommit on offense and take my tower last second.